Thanks for making a date. Welcome back. Now, gold buying firm Menzgold could be in more trouble as fresh investigations suggest it is indeed engaged in an activity that has not been licensed to be carried out. There's more in this report.
According to the Minerals Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the license that it gave out to Menzgold only allows them to buy and trade in gold, that is by refining gold into other products as well as exports. For instance, the individual who actually played a critical role in Menzgold's license tells Joy Business that the license was just meant for buying and exporting or manufacturing gold products. So if the company is doing anything outside this, then the Minerals Commission did not give the approval to do so. However, checks by Joy Business indicates that the company may be engaging in some sort of derivatives trading with its bullion investment platform, which offers 10% monthly return on some units of gold bar purchase from its outfits, an activity the Bank of Ghana is accusing the firm of using to collect deposits from public. For some, the development could give more ammunition to the Bank of Ghana to take the necessary actions against Menzgold.
Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been giving details of possible tax measures that will be considered in the mid-year budget review. The Finance Minister is likely to review macroeconomic targets set out in the 2018 budget next month. Top on the agenda tax policy measures. Finance Minister explains to Joy Business why the mid-year review will be heavy on the country's tax policies.
The issue of revenue mobilization is about you and I and corporates paying their taxes. So if currently we are about 6 million formal workers and we are collecting taxes from 1.5 million, clearly there's a 4.5 million amongst us who are not paying. So how do we encourage that to happen, and how do we get the corporates to do? We also are looking at the tax stamps for the manufacturing companies so we can track it better. We are looking at electronic point of sale systems so that will also help us, get to the average taxpayer. But I think that the real issue is whether we as Ghanaians are going to be honest with ourselves as to how we want to participate in the economic transformation. So as government does as part of the social contract of free SHS or nurses allowance or teacher training allowance, which is taking money out for social interventions. The question then becomes, how do we get the resources in for the public services that we all demand? And that's the spirit of discussions that we should have, even as we strengthen and maybe use technology more effectively.
Now, Bank of Africa says it may consider merging with another bank as part of strategies to meet the new capital requirements set by the Bank of Ghana. According to the Managing Director, Kobi Yanda, measures are being put in place to raise the 400 million cedis new capital set by the central bank by August this year. He spoke with Joy Business on an MCE workshop organized by the bank on government initiatives and opportunities for businesses.
There will soon be an announcement. We are very confident that the strategies we are putting in place will yield results that we can announce before the end of the third quarter, most probably in August. Just be patient. You shouldn't be worried. As I said, we are one of the largest banks in Africa. We chose to be in Ghana, and we intend to stay in Ghana for the long term.
Okay. So, worst case scenario, will you look at mergers or acquisition?
It might be one of the options. I mean, we are looking at various options. Unfortunately, because the deals we are discussing have not been signed off, I cannot make that. I don't have a mandate to make an announcement, but I can give you the assurance that just quote, we are the comfortable lead. So,
okay. So the Bank of Ghana says by June it would announce the number of banks or the names of banks that will be able to meet this. Are you confident that Bank of Africa, come what may, will be in this list?
I'm very confident.
Now, as part of Barclays Bank Ghana's shared growth agenda and to reach out to the less privileged in society, it has completed and commissioned an ultra-modern clinic for residents of Toto, a village near Suhum in the eastern region. The facility, which was built by the bank and its partners, is aimed at providing quality health care to the residents and children of Toto Baptist School and Orphanage. Kofi Siao reports.
Residents of Trotro have until now been commuting long distances to areas like Suhum and Koforidua to seek health care. They have been denied of basic health care for a long time. Residents can now heave some sigh of relief following the decision by Barclays Bank to put up a clinic for the community. Commissioning the project, Director of Marketing and Corporate Relations for Barclays Bank Ghana, Nana Esilfua Boyson, said the decision follows a passionate appeal for a clinic in the community as a number of lives have been lost due to delays in carrying patients with cases like snake bites. She noted that Barclays Bank raised funds from different sources to build a clinic for the community.
Previously, we were calling it Make a Difference Day, and it's a day where colleagues devote their time to communities within which we operate. And it is out of such that a function within the Barclays business undertook to come and support the Stroto community because they had heard of a very sorry story on radio concerning the health of, I think, some of the community inhabitants. And therefore, they undertook this project with the support of Blavo and co-solicitors, but they were under the watchful eye of the director for the Basco school here, which is Reverend Oforiamwa. And so, him soliciting the help, the team decided that this is where they were going to devote their time and resources. And this has been going on actually for over 10 years.
Director and founder of Baptist Church Complex and Orphanage, Reverend Victor Oforiamwa, expressed appreciation for the gesture.
It's really shocking also to see such a great edifice being built here after 22 years of struggle. I saw one of people we worship with dying, and he has to be put at the back of a taxi. By the time he gets to the junction, he's dead. And this is somebody who was helping us to put up this place as a mason. He died. Many others has happened. And in actual fact, it is very, very great benefit to us as a school and orphanage, whereby we spend thousands of cedis to take care of the children's health, because most of these children that were given to us have no health records, and if there is a sickness, it is very difficult. But now,
let's do some more stories now. And the Credit Union Association of Ghana has identified persistent withdrawal of savings as a bane to investments by members. Ashanti Regional Manager Mensa Ashiti observes the situation is triggered by the urge to save for working capital instead of profit. Mr. Ashiti told the 9th annual general meeting of the Anglican Diocese Cooperative Credit Union in Kumasi, capacity of depositors to credit is limited.
Most of the cases, members who only pick their working capital and then deposit in the credit union as a form of savings, the next day then they will come and then withdraw it. But that is not the habit or what credit union is imbibing into the members. We are looking at the fact that once you are a business person or a trader, whatever comes out of your business by way of profit, a proportion is what must be put into your account as savings, and then you accumulate it for your future.
He also believes workers underutilize their idle time instead of exploring options to make extra income. The theme for the...
A lot of idle time is what we see in our time, yet we don't make use of it. The most important thing is the idle time must be put into productive purpose. Use the idle time to generate income. additional income that will complement whatever you are getting by way of your normal income.
The theme for the AGM was wealth creation, the path to financial success. National President and Board Chairman, Credit Union Association of Ghana, Dr. Charles Anane, noted shared ownership of unions, low interest rates and other factors make them ideal financial safety net for the underprivileged.
What we actually aim at in credit unions is financial inclusion. Financial inclusion means that people that do not have formal education and cannot do business with the commercial banks are able to do so with the credit union.
Board Chairman of Anglican Cooperative Credit Union, Dr. Edward Prempe, advised members to use loans to expand instead of start business. He recommends apprenticeship as the surest way to prudent use of money.
Everybody who has not gone through the system of apprenticeship can never succeed. You've got to go through the apprenticeship. You are an apprentice somewhere, then afterwards you know how to, the nitty-gritty of the business that you are doing. That way, if you give you any money, you can make use of the money. But if you give money at once, you will misplace it.
Chief Patron, Most Reverend Professor Daniel Yinkasafo, dedicated a new office building for the union at Fanti New Town. Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
This is live on the marketplace, and as part of the company's resolve to make insurance claims payments more flexible, Enterprise Insurance has introduced a same-day claim payment package for motor claims. Executive Director of the company, Kwame Fori, says this innovation will complement moves to expand the insurance market. There's more in this report.
Speaking at the launch of the same-day claim payment package for motor claims, Executive Director of Enterprise Insurance, Kwame Ofori, says his outfit is concerned about demystifying the public perception that insurance companies are just eager to collect monies and yet sluggish in making payments for claims.
This negative perception is sometimes so entrenched that some insurers think or believe that the moment they get a claim, they must seek the services of a lawyer. Others who make their own claims with such negative perception do so with an attitude of, you have to be hard on the insurer, otherwise your claim will not be paid. So they come with hard faces and tough. Now, it is for these reasons that we as Enterprise Insurance task ourselves to come up with an innovation that will touch the very core of insurance. An innovation that will touch the very reason why people insure with us, which is the payment of claims when they occur. And today, I'm glad and happy to inform you that we have demystified the mystery regarding the claims settlement and payment procedure.
On her part, Head of Reinsurance at the National Insurance Commission, Esther Amma, was confident that same-day claim payment package for motor claims will go a long way to challenge other insurance firms to come up with more innovative products that would help deepen insurance penetration.
Despite the clear advantages of insurance penetration in this country is extremely low, and one of the reasons for this low patronage has been a lack of public trust in the insurance industry. As a regulator of insurance business in Ghana, we take the protection of the customer seriously and will always ensure that our regulated entities keep their promises to their clients. This is when the insured gets to experience the service he or she paid for.
By this new system, clients are required to get their repair estimates to the company to have their claim payments in less than an hour's time.
Let's now turn attention to railway development, and 15 companies have submitted their applications to a joint evaluation committee to be considered for the construction of the Ghana-Burkina Faso Railway Interconnectivity Project. One company would eventually be selected for the construction of the project at the end of the process. Speaking at the commissioning of the evaluation committee in Accra, the Railways Minister Joe Gatti charged members to select a bidder which has both technical capacity and the financial strength to deliver.
The interested companies from Africa and other parts of the world presented their proposals at the commissioning of the Joint Evaluation Committee in Accra. The selected company is expected to fully fund the project through a public-private partnership arrangement.
The financial model that we adopted as a joint committee representing the two countries has always been a build, operate, and transfer. So our understanding and expectation is that everyone here understands our position clearly, and that we are doing this project under the build, operate, and transfer without more.
Minister for Railways Development Joe Gatti charged the committee to select a company that has both the technological capacity and financial strength to execute the project.
They must take into account the bidder who has the capacity to finish the project within the shortest possible time, and the bidder who also has the financial capacity. We do not have time for speculators, people who want to come and win the bid and now go and look for the money, or people who have never done a railway project and want to use us as an experiment. We are not ready for that. To the people of Ghana and Burkina Faso, I just want to say that we are very serious about this project. We have started the process of procurement by this step we've taken today, and God willing, it is our hope that within this year we'll be able to reach financial closure. We'll be able to start construction this year.
The committee is expected to finish the evaluation process in 2 months. The Ghana-Ouagadougou Rail Project aims to improve the transport and logistics chains on the rail corridor towards accelerating economic growth and for the development of both countries.
Meanwhile, government is promising to totally revamp the railway sector in 2 years. This will include the Western Corridor rail line linking the Ivory Coast. In the following report, Sandra Esinamapenu takes a look at how feasible the over 500-kilometer rail project can be completed in less than 2 years.
It's been promises after promises. At first, it was the 2013 master plan by the NDC government, a 6-phase project that never happened, leaving the country's rail sector in a sorry state. Now, the NPP-led government says it has what it takes to transform the rail sector. The 2020 rail sector transformation agenda.
I have seen the transformation already. The managing director of the Ghana Railway Company told me that in his 35 years in railway, he has not seen a deal like what we concluded in South Africa. There's never been an occasion that so much equipment in railway has come at one time. He's there. I've told him that if he doesn't conclude the deal, he shouldn't come to Ghana.
This will mean the construction of a 339-kilometer Western Corridor project linking Takoradi and Kumasi, the Tin Corridor, 218 kilometers. All these are expected to be done in just 2 years. With barely 19 months to go, the Railway Ministry has been talking big.
Come back to us this year, and you will meet us in conference rooms like this. You will meet us on project sites. Very soon, we are going to commission a railway monthly newspaper. And the draft is in my office as I speak to you. So that by next month, we will launch the first railway monthly journal.
Currently, the ministry says it is in talks with South Africa's leading railway and ports company, Transnet International Holdings, to supply 110 wagons to the Railway Company Limited. The supply would include 22 coaches, 8 locomotives, 6 freight to power the wagons, 2 passenger service, and another 2 to power vans with first-class kitchens.
The details will be released by Ghana Railway Company Limited. But I want to assure you that it is not something that will break the bank. And it is something that they will sit down and ensure that we can pay back, look at the time frame and so on. But if we manage to enter, if Ghana Railway Company enters into the JV with them, then instead of paying, it will be absorbed by the JV.
Aside these interventions, The ministry says it is in the process of establishing a rail university. The Ghana Railway School at Isikado has already signed an MOU with the George Grant University of Mines and Technology, Takwa, to train personnel for the industry.
The university has also created some faculties, working out curricula for building capacity in railway. And indeed, that will be complemented by the partnership we're bringing from South Africa. So once we create faculty capacities, that will generate faculties and programs that will also train our local people.
Apart from the Accra-Ouagadougou project, which is currently at the bidding stage, it is not clear how most of these projects will be funded. And if a country like Kenya took 4 years to construct a 472-kilometer rail line, it remains to be seen if this new agenda by government is another political talk. Sandra Esinamapenu, Joy Business.
Away now from railway development, the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, ACET, has warned that failure by government to engage the private sector in agri value chains has the potential of straining funding and subsequently collapsing major projects like the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. This was made known during a presentation of a report on trends in Africa's agri sector and its implications on Ghana. Dr. K.Y. Amwako is president of ACET. He's been sharing excerpts of the report with Joy Business.
This report is about Africa. It's not just about Ghana. But this discussion we are having today is the implications for Ghana. But on the report, we spent about 2 years developing this, looking deep into transformation and what agriculture sector's transformation would do for overall economic transformation. As you know, most African governments, including Ghana, see economic transformation as a new paradigm for job creation, for poverty reduction, for sustainable growth, improving productivity, export competitiveness, diversifying our economies, and that's the goal of economic transformation. And we try to show how the agricultural sector is so critical to this overall economic transformation. So we call it agriculture powering economic transformation.
And, does it give a very dark image about the sector here in Ghana and the implications there?
No, I wouldn't say so. It has a lot of potential. So the question is, what do we need to do to realize the potential so agriculture, for example, can create more jobs for the youth, for everybody. We still, in Ghana and other African countries, import a lot of food, but we have the resources, the land, the labor to create, to grow our own food, to reduce imports. As I said, also in terms of industrialization, for example, the agricultural sector agro-processing can be a very important dynamic. So there are challenges, but luckily there are also opportunities. And there are resources. Africa and Ghana have abundant land. We have a lot of youth and labor, and that can really transform the agricultural sector so that it can grow.
Finally, before we go, Cosmos Energy has been given the mandate to conduct an audit of all LPG distribution facilities in the country. This is to ascertain its readiness for the newly introduced gas recirculation module, which is expected to begin before the end of the year. The policy is part of measures to curb many accidents recorded at various gas stations in the country. Chief Executive of the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampuli, who disclosed this to Joy Business, said with the coming on board of Cosmos, the project will achieve the desired results.
What Cosmos is doing is to assist the NPA and by extension the Ministry of Energy to do risk assessments of existing gas infrastructure, LPG infrastructure, from the refilling plants all the way to the depots. So they are doing Atuabo Ghana gas processing plants, and they are doing quantum terminals as well, which is just next door to Atuabo. They are doing fuel trade depot in Tema Oil Refinery, and then Blue Ocean. So basically that's what Cosmos is doing. We've done a pilot of about 5 stations in the Accra, Ashama areas, and they have also finished with the safety audits of the installations in the Western region, i.e. Atuabo.
And on that note, we wrap up this afternoon's edition of The Marketplace. It's been great having you on board. Let's meet again same time tomorrow. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Good afternoon.